Taken to its sort of most extreme version, we might express subjectivism as kind of whateverism, right? Because if in subjectivism, it's the individual belief in their moral claims that make the moral claims true, we're sort of going to look at each other and just shrug our shoulders and say, like, well, whatever. I mean, I don't have any basis on which to claim you're either right or wrong, and you don't have any basis on which to claim that I'm right or wrong. Me thinking I'm right is what makes me right. Whatever. Okay? Now, if we try to express this argument of whateverism, it might look something like this. There is no objective truth. Consequently, there is not an objective standard by which one can judge the truth value of any claims, including moral claims. It follows that all judgments about the truth values of moral claims are determined by the individual person making the judgment. In other words, my belief that a statement is true makes that statement true. Because there is no objective standard against which the truth value of individual moral claims can be judged, all moral claims are equally true, which is to say that none of them are true for anyone other than me unless they happen to also believe those moral claims are true. And this leads to this conclusion. Therefore, the statement the dumbest girls were morally right and the statement the dumbest girls were not morally right can both be true at the same time. And you can see that this internal inconsistency or contradiction within the theory of subjectivism leads to a contradiction, right? We know that the same statement cannot be true for, the same statement cannot be true for one person and false for another person at the same time, unless that statement is simply a report of inner experience, like the taste of pizza, okay? Now, we could also apply subjectivism to the island scenario that I described for you in an earlier scenario. We have all of these potential actions that involve, bullying people or stealing food to benefit yourself or killing a person because they're not liked and so forth. According to the subjectivist, would any of these actions be morally permissible? Maybe. It just depends on what they think. Because them thinking this is the morally acceptable thing to do makes it the morally acceptable thing for them to do. Now, you might be thinking to yourself like, well, yeah, okay, for that one person, they think this is the right thing for them to do, but what if everybody else disagrees and said, no, we're not going to kill and eat that person? All right, but from a subjectivist point of view, everybody who has a moral claim that they believe is true has a moral claim that is true. So how do we get out of this conflict where one person thinks that it's right to kill somebody and eat them, and a bunch of other people think that that's the wrong thing to do? And of course, you recognize right away, well, this is going to come down to force. This is going to come down to power, right? And that's kind of where subjectivism leads, is to exercises of power. Because we can't rationally, logically convince each other that our moral judgments are truer than others because of some standard that we're appealing to. Because subjectivism assumes there is no standard to appeal to.